Hello, everyone. Welcome. As you're joining, let us know what you're going to be reading today. I have Hannah with me, and we are doing our last call reading sprints. So I do those on my channel where pretty much the last week of every month, we try to squeeze in some final books or start our final books. But then this is also for Once Upon a Readathon as well, because we're in our last week of Once Upon a Readathon, which is...
I know, it's crazy.
It feels like we just started.
No. It's not.
Hannah was just telling me about her beautiful garden and how she grows vegetables and flowers and just absolutely everything. And it's just, she's living my cottagecore dreams. If any of y'all have gardens as well, please share it in the Discord because I would love to see pictures like that.
I know that April Gardens, the main, what I was saying was the main garden is like at least 1,000 square foot. And then we do have other gardens. And eventually we're going to landscape the back and stuff too. But I have like a cottage garden. And we also have sections like we have blackberries and we have some fruit trees. Like we have a peach tree and fig trees and persimmon and strawberry. We have strawberries and they kind of like spread through the cottage garden area and the other garden too. So, and they're like everbearing. So from spring through summer, there's always at least a few ripe strawberries out there. So.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I want my house to be very, very planty. Our apartment faces north, so we don't get any direct sunlight and it kills me on the inside. So I have like very low light plants, but even still they struggle. I have some fake plants to give myself like some greenery, but I can't wait until I have a big garden. We brought it up because this is our ambient room for the day. And it's very, very pretty. So
it's goals for we have a creek. I don't know if it's like a creek or a spring, but whoever lived here before made these really beautiful little wooden bridges that go over it on a few different spots. And it's all wooded with like dappled sunlight. It looks like a fairy pond. Like it looks like a fairyland is what it looks like.
Gosh.
But you have to go really downhill to get to it. But the garden like that we have on these sprints or whatever that was, is so similar to like kind of like how I want it. Like I want to have like a terraced path that goes down to it and then have it like gardened in the woods with like lots of like hostas. There's already a lot of wild ferns and a lot of like wild flowering plants that we have. Like we have probably at least like 300 azaleas on our property, at least, probably more than that. But it's like full of azaleas and rhododendrons and stuff like that, like in the woods. But I want like more. Like I want to make it
like this,
basically. Yeah, and yeah. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love it. Just makes me think of, I read Flower Heart in March or April when it came out, and it was very gardeny, naturey. The magic was very like natural magic, and that is just my life.
It's really cool because the guy that lived here before, like he was clearly a gardener and he gardened and planted a lot of stuff with his sons. And he had a lot of cool stuff that was left here. Like we went down there and I had David bring up this old patinaed stone bench that was down there by the creek. And it was difficult because I didn't realize like how heavy it's solid stone.
Yeah.
But he got it up for me and got it put into the garden. I think he might have busted one of our tractor pulley things that he pulls behind his tractor. And then we have another one of those in the back too, like by the entrance to the woods back there in our backyard. But like there's like little surprise things. Like down there's like this little, like it's covered in like moss and patina, but it's like a little frog, but it's like stone and it's down there too. Like it's really cool. I'll have to send you pictures. I don't go down there a lot because there's no steps to get down there right now. So it's kind of a trek.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, don't hurt yourself, but I would love to see pictures. It just sounds so magical and so beautiful. I am a mix of fake plants and real plants, but I hope to continue mastering my green thumb. Let us know what you're going to be reading in the chat if you're just joining. Hello. eating lunch, and then reading the Book of Two Ways by Jodi Picoult. Hello, thank you for joining. Yeah, if you're using these for productivity sprints, that is amazing as well. So yeah, if you are studying, totally cool. Hannah, what are you going to be reading?
I have maybe 30 pages left of what's it called? Mistletoe. It's the Kimberly Lemming Christmas book. Well,
Oh,
not
did you start that last night?
Yeah. It's like a little novella. I think it's like 60 pages. No, it's 55 pages. And I have 29 pages left. It's called Mistletoe, A Mead Realmed Tale. So it just takes place at this week-long winter festival. And it's like you can read it by itself, I feel like. I think it's better to read it after you read the first one in the series. But it's like a fake dating kind of thing with a fox shifter, and the main character is a human. But I think I'm going to be done with that like in the first sprint. So then I'm going to go back to reading A Heart of Blood and Ashes because I'm adoring this. And I'll probably crochet while I listen to this because I'm listening to this one.
Yeah, I'm going to be trying to finish this Vicious Grace. I only have this much left. So we'll see. This morning I was listening to the audiobook while I was like sketching out my July bullet journal. And it's just really fun to listen to. And it's getting very juicy. So we love reading Barbarian Lover. Oh my gosh, I love that for you.
Which one is that? Is that the I just read the third one.
I think I've read up to book 3 in that series. I don't know what number Barbarian Lover.
Oh, that's the third one. I just read that one. I thought so. I was like, they are my favorite couple so far. 100%.
I love those books so much. I never thought that I would. I was kind of like peer pressured into reading those books, Ice Planet Barbarian, and I was just like, I'm obsessed with these.
I love them.
They're so good.
You know, and the audiobooks are pretty good, and they're on script, usually.
The writing,
sometimes they decide to take them off for a month, but
I haven't listened to the audiobooks, but like I was very surprised at the writing in those books that it was actually really good. That's not what I was expecting.
If you like that, you should probably try, if you want to read something similar. I tried this other alien romance series, and the first one is called like Zool, but with like an X, like XUL. And it was really, really good. And it's got kind of similar vibes.
Oh, and it's short. It's only like 200 pages.
By A.G. Wild, yeah.
That one?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And it's kind of like not the same premise because it takes place on a space station. There's like these women who were taken from Earth by these like evil aliens, but then there are these like secret agent aliens that are trying to take down those bad aliens. And in the process of doing so, they end up saving these girls, and each one of the undercover agents ends up taking out a girl, and they each end up crash landing on this planet. And so it's a little bit of a survival story too, and it's close proximity. And the first one was really sweet. I liked it.
And you gave it 4 stars.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
But it was like a really good 4-star.
We love the alien recommendations. Mm-hmm. I loved Death by Dumpling. I thought it was a really cute, cozy mystery. It's on Kindle Unlimited, and I read it last year for the Asian Readathon. It was really funny. She works for like her parents' dumpling shop, and she's delivering food, and one of the people in the town gets poisoned by their dumplings, and they're trying to figure out like who poisoned him. I think he's like allergic to shrimp, and the dumplings that they deliver to him have shrimp in it, and it's just a really cute, fun, cozy mystery.
I want to try that one. I've heard good things about it.
Yeah, that one was really good, and it's a pretty long series. Reading Before They Are Hanged by Joe Abercrombie.
I hope you love it.
Gonna start a new arc. It's the last on my list. I'm finally caught up. Okay, love that for you. What's the arc? I'm loving
Ahako.
Go.
That's the hero.
Hmm.
He's amazing. He's like my favorite hero so far in the series.
The 9th in the series comes out this year. Love it so far. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's a long series. We will get started in just a couple minutes. So if you need to run and grab a coffee or a water or a snack, feel free to do so. Hannah, you said you have a coffee too. What's your coffee recipe?
Leftover coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Super fancy. For this one, because I poured it and I had already had the coffee chilled in the fridge, I made a simple syrup real quick, like just I heated up water in the teapot and then poured it into a little thing and then added a bunch of sugar. So I used that so it wouldn't be all like gritty. And then just
Honestly, making simple syrup is an elite game changer, and I never used to do that.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm not big for kitchen electronics, honestly. Like I hide my microwave in the pantry and we don't even use a toaster, like because I just don't like, but I do have a coffee pot, an electric tea kettle, and my Instapot. And those ones, like, they can't leave the countertop.
I put away my toaster. I like to have my countertops fairly clear, but I have my Nespresso and I also have an electric kettle. But the kettle is really cute. It's like a matte black gooseneck one, and I'm like, okay, this is vibey. You know, you can stay.
Mine's just like glass, I guess. It's boring. Not fancy.
My arc is North Queen by Nicola Tish. I remember it's a fantasy romance, but I don't remember what it's about going in blind. Sometimes the books that you go in blind to can be the most fun. But I'll have to look that up. Okay, we will get started with our first sprint. I think we're going to do 3 45-minute sprints today. And we do have our ambient room. It's very just like summery, I think, with fountain noises and bird noises. So we will get started. Happy sprinting, everyone. Hello, hello. How did everyone do?
How did you do?
I did pretty good. I read about 60 pages. I only have about 60 pages left, so I should be able to finish this on our next sprint. I'm just not sure how I want to rate this book because it's about our main character, Alessa, and she's kind of a conduit for other people's powers.
Mm-hmm.
So like she has to marry someone who have like more enhanced powers than her, I guess. Like this one person can like freeze anything, this other person has like lightning, and she's supposed to save their like island by enhancing this other person's powers and defeating these like demons that are coming to destroy the island basically. But I don't know if I love that setup. Like her worth almost is in how well she can like enhance this other person's powers.
Right.
And I just don't know how I feel about that. I think it's a good book. Like I think the setting is really fun. It takes place in Italy. So it's just very like Italy in the summer. They talk about food a lot, which is really vibey. Like it's very aesthetic,
Mm-hmm.
which is great and like atmospheric. But I just don't know that I love her power. The romance is really cute too. It's kind of like it's leaning more YA, but there was like one fairly spicy scene, so it's like kind of new adult. Um, but I just don't know that I love, that like plot of her power.
Right.
So
Who's the author?
Emily Theed.
Hmm.
And the second book in the series comes out in December. So I'm thinking that I will pick it up, but I think it's like a 3.5 for me right now. I'm not sure. What about you? How did you do?
I finished my book. I finished Mistletoe. I give it 5 stars.
Oh my gosh, I love that. I didn't realize that's the same author as like that time I got drunk and saved a demon.
It's the same series, yeah.
Yeah, I need to read that series. I've been seeing it everywhere.
It's really good. I've read the first 2 full-length books and the novella.
Mm-hmm.
So I just need to read the newest one. But that one, I'm gonna have to buy the ebook, I guess.
Is that series on KU or no?
It was, but it got picked up. It's getting traditionally published.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm really sad because I never bought the original covers.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't like how they have the font on the new ones. It's giant. It covers most of the title page.
Okay.
And they've kept the cover very similar to the original Indie Pub one, but it's a little bit different. And what they changed, like mostly the font, I don't like.
I'm trying to see if I can find a picture of the new cover. Because this is the indie published cover, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I like those.
But let me see, the new cover, I'm not seeing it there. It's probably on Amazon.
Yeah, I'm trying to look it up. Oh, yeah. Hold on, let me see if I can pull this up. Yeah, the font is huge.
Yeah, it's like,
yeah.
I like that they kept it it's like almost the same exact cover. They just moved the couple over a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I also don't like that. Like, what was the point? Okay, you're leaving the cover the same, then why? There's less of the couple. They're like kind of cut off now,
Mm-hmm.
And then the font takes up like the whole. I don't know. I'll probably still buy it because, and they're all like that.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Have you read the Magnolia Parks series?
Huh?
Have you
No.
read no? Have you seen the new covers that they're releasing for those books?
Are they changing them? I know everyone really likes the indie covers.
They're changing them, and yes, everyone, I think for the most part, really likes the indie covers. But they updated the covers because she got picked up, and they're like straight out of 2010, and everyone is like, "Why did they do this?" I don't know how big this is gonna show up, but like they're very just like old Gossip Girl with like heels like
Whoa.
sticking up, and it's really like, why would you do that? And Jessa Hastings posted somewhere recently, maybe on the Magnolia Parks universe Instagram, or maybe just her own, and she was like, thank you all for your feedback, like I do really appreciate it. I know that like the new covers aren't, it seems like aren't a favorite, and we really loved the old covers, but she was like, I've been crying a lot, like I felt so bad, but like why wouldn't you just keep the old covers? They were so good and so much better than just like cheesy like heels in the air like sticking out. Like why did we do that?
Why do publishers insist on shitty covers for their books?
Yeah, don't know.
Why? Like, I'm just not I'm not a fan of like honestly a lot of the fantasy romance covers that are out now. Like just like the jumble of stuff on a cover. It's just like a jumble of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Metal and flowers and just a pile of shit on the cover, literally. I feel like most fantasy romance covers are just a pile of shit and some words. And it doesn't matter what the shit is, just put all the shit on the cover and we'll just print it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's what I feel like it is. And they all look the same and they all have the same title and they all like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Can we also, because I know that you had some thoughts about the Fourth Wing cover, but we need to just talk about the Iron Flame cover for a second. Did you see like that they released what it's going to look like?
No, but I didn't like the first cover. I didn't like
I know, yeah, I know you didn't like the first cover. I just need to like say this. The second cover looks exactly the same. Like there's very slight differences, but why is it the same cover? I was very confused.
I'm looking it up now.
Like there's the same, it's the same like circle, there's the same elements to it. All they've done is kind of change the background colors to more of like a gradient. I think it's like more dark on the bottom, and then it fades up into like an orangey, more of like an orangey copper color instead of gold like the first one. But I was like, this looks exactly the same. Why?
Yeah, there's the circle on the first one. It's like the circle part, and then they've added a diamond of some sorts with some clouds on it. But it's basically the same.
Yeah,
But
it's basically the same.
I mean, I like it better than the first one, to be honest. But I don't know. Listen, I just maybe it's me. But
I don't think it's you.
I want to go back to this, please.
Yes, I agree.
Can we go back to the people? Like, I really like, and even like, I get it if it's going to be like fantasy romance. Now, I didn't like this book, but if it's going to be fantasy romance, so I get it, like, or like different creatures, you have to like RPG,
Oh yeah,
whatever, you have to like digitize it or whatever. Like, but it's still the people. Like, I like this shit. I love this shit.
Yeah.
Like, I want the people. I don't want. Like, you know, I like this for a fantasy romance. It's got the guys like back and it shows the dragon and they're in the woods. And like, also, this book is freaking amazing. If you have not, like, I want to read the series, but this is like the prequel novella. You need to read this. This is the only one they don't have on KU though. They have the whole series on KU and it's free on Audible. If you have an Audible Plus.
No, I don't use Audible.
Okay. But it's on KU. So I really want to read the rest of the series, but this is their Wyvern Riders, and the writing is it's really good. Anyway, and like there's like runes all over his back.
Mm,
You see all those
love.
runes?
Yes. Love that. Yeah, I for YA fantasy romance, and I guess for adult fantasy romance, I really like illustrated, like almost fan art on the cover of how people look as well. Like this is the fairy loot edition of this Vicious Grace, but honestly, I actually didn't like this edition. I liked the original cover for this Vicious Grace. Like I like covers like this where you see the person, but it's actually like illustrated. I like covers like that as well.
Kind of like Desperate, like you can see my Desperate Measures cover right here. I have the hardcovers of that one because like I love that book.
Yeah.
But yeah, I want people on my covers.
Yeah.
You cannot make a person look just like another person, but you can make a pile of shit look like another pile of shit. You know what I'm saying?
Flowers. Or if they're all just flowers, like a bunch of romance books, what do they call them? Like the subtle covers or whatever. They'll just be like, oh, perfect. We'll just put flowers on it.
Yes.
Okay.
And then the fantasy romance ones, it's like different kinds of different metals and weapons, and just you don't know what it is. Like it's like a bunch of freaking gears all thrown on a table, and like, I don't know what they're doing.
Yeah. Anyways,
what is that?
Let us know your thoughts about all these covers. We clearly have a lot of opinions. Hi, Lucy.
Grant.
I'm writing a review for a book I finished last week. We'll be submitting Daughter of the Siren Queen shortly. Love that. I still have to read that. I loved the first book. And then I will be reading Fourth Wing. Oh my gosh. I love that for you, Steph.
Awesome book. I liked Fourth Wing a lot.
Read 50 pages, loving it, but craving Chinese food. Yeah, they talk about food a lot in those books. And so it's like you have to have Chinese food on deck.
What's your favorite Chinese food?
I love a lot of different Asian food in general. I love sushi. I love ramen. In LA, there's a lot of like absolutely incredible ramen places, and pho. I love pho as well. And then if we're talking about like traditional Chinese food, I love it.
Like all. Chinese takeout, like American Chinese food.
Fried rice. Any kind of fried rice. I love. I'm a lo mein person as well.
I love crab rangoons.
I love crab rangoons. I love spring rolls. Yeah, I love dumplings. It all.
I love dumplings. Yep. I like all the appetizer stuff if I'm getting Chinese takeout. And then, yeah, I love pho. When I lived in Hawaii, there was actually a restaurant called Pho King. And, like, they sold T-shirts with, like, their name on it and stuff like that. Because it's, like, PHO, but it's fucking, you know?
Yep.
Yep. That place was near me, and they had really, really good pho. Pho is, like, perfect hangover food, I feel like, too.
Interesting. I've never had pho as a hangover food.
Yeah, I'll hear it. And then sushi. Sushi, Japanese food I like, too. I love Thai food. I love I make my own green curry paste because I love green curry so much. But a lot of times I'll go to Thai places and they won't give it to me as spicy as I want.
Yes.
So, because I know they make it like that, but they think I can't handle it. I'm like,
a lot of places around here, they'll ask how spicy you want it. They'll say like 1, 2, or 3. Right. And if you tell them 3, they're going to give it to you. And it's amazing.
That's nice.
So sorry, Vita, we're probably making you way more hungry now. But let us know what your favorite Chinese food is in the chat, and then we're all going to order Chinese food later.
My husband got frozen pizzas. So.
Oh, I love frozen pizzas. Arc is decent so far. It's a wake up in a forest with 0 memory trope, so the reader is learning everything as we go along with the main character. That's kind of fun. Yeah, Daisy Hates would never wear those shoes. I didn't like Kraken's Sacrifice either.
Yeah, but I won't unhaul it because I love the cover.
I don't like how the people they do put on covers are just outlines with no faces. It's so weird. Yeah, I like when the faces are included.
I'm doing like if I don't know if you saw, but the Book Refuge just posted a Q&A yesterday, Jen, and she talked about how even books she likes, she's trying to put her money with like use money as like a voting power. So if she like she's not buying books even if she likes them if the cover doesn't have people on it basically.
Oh, I love that.
But she's buying both editions if they're offering both editions. Like a like what do they call that? Discrete. Like a
Yep,
discrete
discrete.
cover and then actual, which like why I'm sorry, why do we have to be discreet about reading? Like romance is like one of the like it's been around like forever. Like half of classics are romance books technically. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know. But anyway, so she's buying both if they offer both to like support the idea of having both and to support that offer for that author for sticking with making sure they still have people on the cover. But if they don't have a person on the cover version, she's not buying them.
I think that's a good idea. I do think the discrete covers, like for some people, work well because I was reading Sea of Ruin at the time, and someone was like, "Oh, I had to like read it on my Kindle because she was reading it at her kid's like soccer game or something, like soccer practice." And it's like if someone came up to you and you're reading Sea of Ruin, which does have people on the cover, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, what's your book about?" And it's someone that you like don't want to talk to about like what your book is about. It's more difficult to be like, yeah, it's not a smutty romance. Like, obviously, that's not what I'm reading, you know, with like some random person that you don't want to talk about. So, like, I do get it. But I do think that there should be options, you know?
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. And I know everyone's totally different, but I especially like that's not what like that's why I'm not buying Fourth Wing because like I don't like the cover. You know what I'm saying? And now I appreciate that they offered the sprayed edges and everything like that, but like I only really buy editions if I really like the book, if I already read it, if I really like it, and I love the cover. But then like for the Katie Robert one, like I bought that before I read it. But I'm also not going to unhaul it because
Yeah, you're keeping it for the cover, which
yeah,
is stunning. Why not?
yeah, and I want to buy all the covers of like I really want the Morning Glory Milking Farm.
Okay.
That cover, honestly, is like amazing. Like clinch cover, old school.
Yeah.
Like it's even better than the Katie Robert ones. Like that one is honestly, I want that one so bad. But like I want to, yeah,
Oh my gosh, I love
I
that.
want to collect like all the best romance covers.
Yeah, I like the Zodiac Academy covers as well. I didn't realize, does Zodiac Academy have, I think all I've ever seen are the discrete covers. I've never
Yeah,
seen like a different cover for them.
me neither.
Maybe we'll have to dig and try to see what we can find.
Yeah.
Good thing I'm cooking dinner right now with all this food talk. Yes. And Vita's ordering Chinese food. I'm a lo mein girl. I love dumplings and any spicy chicken. I totally agree.
I like orange chicken.
I like General Tso's chicken as well.
Yeah.
All right. I think we will get into our second sprint. Hannah, do you have to hop off soon? I forget what time you said you had to hop off to switch to.
Oh, yes. So I'm doing the Obsession read along, and that's at 3 o'clock. What time is it? 2:19. So if we want to do like, do you want to do like a 30-minute sprint?
Yeah, we'll do a 30-minute
And then we
sprint.
could like chat for like 10 minutes or something like that. And then I'll hop off so I can jump on that because I'm supposed to be reading the Obsession.
Yep. We'll do that now. I just know they put out new discrete covers for the Ruthless Boys of the Zodiac series. Interesting.
Oh, that's the other series. Yes, because they have the girl with the purple hair on the cover. Right?
Gotcha. Okay, we will jump into our next sprint. We'll do 30 minutes. Happy reading, everyone. How'd everyone do? I have 15 minutes, maybe a little bit less than 15 minutes left in my book. And something very dramatic just happened, and I'm very upset about it. So I can't wait to finish this book to see what happens.
Really?
Yeah. How's your book?
Good. I read 25 pages.
Nice.
I'm like having to look back because I'm like, I'm not quite sure what just happened.
Oh.
Does that ever happen to you, especially with like fantasy books, and you're like, wait, what?
Yeah, that happens to me, especially when I'm listening to it on audio. I'll be like, wait, I need to like go back and actually just like read what happened.
Yeah, well, this is like a new thing because there's a lot of world building in here, and something new just happened. And I'm like, what was this thing? What was this? Okay, I'll figure it out later. But so you only have 15 minutes or pages left.
Yeah, 15 minutes left because I've been listening to the audiobook, and I've been trying to plan out like the themes of the vlogs that I want to do for this month. So that's what I was just like writing and listening to the audiobook. I actually need help deciding. So I think I told you yesterday, a bunch of holds just came in on Libby for me. And now I'm trying to like organize, like, okay, what do I want to read and how do I want to categorize them? So I have a bunch of books that are very like high fantasy. So like Shadow of the Gods, and my next hold for my next Witcher book came in. So I could do like a high fantasy vlog, or I could do like a witchy cottagecore type vlog with a bunch of books like that. So there's Bitterthorn, which was just released in May, and that's like a sapphic fantasy romance about this witch who lives in the woods, and she's known for like killing all of her mates, but they have to send a new person into the woods, I think every year. And so it's about like that. And that one sounds really good. So that would be like my witchy cottagecore. And then I also have The Poison Season by Mara Rutherford, which is very like natural magic. Our main character, Lilo, coexists in a bloodthirsty forest and respecting a poisonous lake and stuff like that. So like this would also be in that vlog. And I can't decide because I'm actually very like excited about all of them. These are the high fantasy books. I don't know.
So I don't know. I guess it depends on like, can you read? Because okay, with me with epic fantasy, like I'll read it slowly while I'm reading a lot of other books. Like I can't go through and like read it and then go. I can't read epic fantasy back to back usually either. Even though I love epic fantasy, I read a lot of it.
Exhibit A.
But yeah. So I guess it depends on you. I don't think if it was me, I wouldn't be able to do an epic fantasy reading vlog. But that's how.
So I have been on something this year. I used to not be able to do like epic fantasies back to back, but so far this year, because I've been wanting to read so many fantasy series, it hasn't been an issue. And where this book, the Witcher book, Baptism of Fire, this is the third book in the series. It's only like 300 pages, so it's kind of short and it's already established. Like this isn't going to be super big brain for me. I think that Shadow of the Gods would be fairly big brain, but because I have the audiobook, I think it'll be nice. I think it'll be fun. So like I'm not worried about getting burnt out or anything if I do like a high fantasy vlog.
I think most people say Shadow of the Gods is really good too.
Yes.
I technically DNF'd it, but I loved this one.
The like Malice series?
Valor, Rune, Wrath. The Banished Lands. I think it's what it's called, the Banished Lands. But I felt like, at least when I was reading it, I felt like Shadow of the Gods was more not violent, but even maybe, but because it's like Vikings, right?
Yeah.
And I think I wasn't in the right mood for it. And I think I want to wait and read it in the winter.
Yeah.
Because that's when I'm in my most epic fantasy mood. I wasn't not liking it. Like I was liking it. I was just like, this is a little bit violent for my mood.
Yeah, just not. Yeah, that makes sense. Last summer I put down This Vicious Grace. I'm just returning to it now because I just wasn't in the mood for it. And now that I'm in the mood for it, I mean, I told you it's like a 3.75. It's actually getting closer to a 4-star with the twist that we just got. So
Ooh,
I'm a big believer in put something down until you're in the mood
that's
for
what
it.
I do.
Yeah. But is cottagecore witchy, like if I do a vlog like that?
I think that'll probably
Is that
perform
like
better.
summery enough? Because I feel like witchy sometimes gets categorized
Cottagecore.
as like fall, like autumnal, but I'm like, I can read witchy books any time of year.
Yeah, but it's going to be coming out in July when everyone cannot wait for fall to come. Not to mention Summerween, not to mention
Yes.
cottagecore. So I honestly think it'll do well.
Okay, perfect. I'll do my witchy one.
So. But then obviously you know your viewers better than I do.
I don't know. I feel like high fantasy has been a vibe. I don't know why I'm feeling such high fantasy in the spring and summer, but I've just been vibing with it. So, how did everyone else do for your sprints? Reading On These Black Sands, 40% in, not loving it as much as I hoped. Okay, that's on my, I was hoping to like squeeze that in this week. So you'll have to let me know if you finish it, how you feel. Read about 20 more pages, more characters are getting introduced, and it's very fun. I'm so happy that you're enjoying what's it called, the dumpling book. I just think it was so fun when I read it. I read it so quickly. Hi Daphne, thanks for helping.
I'm so excited by this upcoming comment. I know the twins are so amazing. Wait till you get to the scene in the hallway with the twins. Please message me when you are finished with the scene with the hallway. Is that the second book? Is that the first book? I can't freaking remember. That scene lives rent free in my mind all the time. Please.
Is this by Marine
Let
Mystery?
me know. Huh?
Is this book?
It's my favorite. Yes, I have it over there, but I can't get it right now. It's my favorite Why Choose fantasy romance in the world.
Ooh, a lunar witch.
It's
Okay.
It's a pirate romance.
Divine Assassin. Oh my gosh.
Where the frick is my crochet hook?
Oh no.
It's like it fell under my blanket. I was like, where the frick? Yeah, Trader Witch. It's so freaking good. That scene with the shifter twins, and I'm not going to tell you what they are because it's a secret for a while at least. I think it's a little bit of a spoiler.
Oh my
I don't know, Daphne, do you know what they are yet? I think by 70% you do. But yeah. The twins in the hallway. In the ship.
Oh my gosh. That sounds like, what's it called? The Shining?
No, it's not it's not like that.
That's like how it was coming off when you're like the twins in the hallway. I was like,
oh no, it's like the twins in the hallway. Like not like that. I am going to hop off because I have to go. Maggie's doing her obsession sprints, and I'm supposed to start the obsession, which I'm excited and nervous about. And I hope it goes well because yeah, I'm excited and nervous. So I'm gonna hop off, and I haven't looked at the sprint schedule. I was gonna say I'll see you, and I was like, I don't know when the next sprints are. I'm sure they're soon though.
Yeah, I'm sure that we have more this week. I think.
I think so. I think so.
I hope you. I will see you. Thank
you for joining. Bye, everyone.
Bye. Well, we are going to do one more sprint. So I think we're going to do one more 45-minute sprint, and then we'll be hopping off because I need to finish This Vicious Grace and then start something else. The other book that I started reading last night is called Glitch, and I'm just looking up who it's by. It's on KU, and it's a very spicy. It's by Brianna Michaels. It's like a video gamer romance that is very spicy, It's only 250 pages, so it gets right into the spice right away. And so after I finish this Vicious Grace, I might switch back to reading Glitch because I got like 50% of the way through it last night. It's so easy to read and it's just really fun. This is the cover. And I feel like if you liked Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, but you want like something spicy, you might like Glitch. But it's everything I ever wanted and more. I only read 10 pages because I got distracted with TikTok. That happens to me all the time, more often than I want to admit. So absolutely no worries. But this next sprint will be really great. We'll try to focus on our books. I also started Caraval today because I wanted to read that series before the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy, and I'm loving it so far. I love this for you. Caraval is one of my absolute favorite series. I read it back in 2020 when I was like getting back into reading, and I absolutely fell in love with Stephanie Garber's writing style. It's a series that I talk about all the time on like my Instagram and on my YouTube because I just love it so much. So I'm so happy that you're loving it. It's so suspenseful. Like Stephanie Garber does such a great job at leaving every single chapter on a cliffhanger that you just never want to put the book down until you're finished with it. But I think it's great that you started with the Caraval trilogy because you don't technically have to read the Caraval series before you pick up the Once Upon a Broken Heart series, but you'll have a lot more background information if you do read it in that order because the characters that are in Once Upon a Broken Heart are from the Caraval series, and so it'll give you better understanding. So, oh my gosh, that makes me so happy. If you want, DM me on Instagram and tell me all of your thoughts because I love screaming, crying, and throwing up about the Caraval series. But we are going to get into our final sprint here. I'm just going to switch the timer back to 45 minutes and we will get started. If you need to get up and stretch for a second, if you need to grab some water, some coffee, I think I might make a second coffee during this last sprint because I don't have too much left. And my book is so like suspenseful. I don't know about y'all, but I need like a snack or something to drink on when I'm like super just like on the edge of my seat with my book. So we will start our last sprint. Happy reading, everyone. Hello, everyone. How was that last sprint? I'm not gonna lie, I got a little bit distracted. So I started listening to Baptism of Fire, which is the third book in the Witcher series. I started listening to this because I realized that my Libby hold on the audiobook, I only have 6 days left. And I have been listening / reading along with the audiobooks throughout this entire series. I find that it really helps me because these are very high fantasy and there is like elven language in these that if I were reading them on my own, I think I would struggle through a little bit more. And I also just think that the narrator for these books does an incredible job with all the different voices and stuff like that. But a lot happened in the last book with like this war that's starting to go on. And it's a little bit difficult to remember like who's on what side. There's a lot of gray area. It's not like a specific right or wrong with The Witcher. And so I started making a bullet journal spread for The Witcher because I wanted to kind of clarify like what was going on in the last book and like write notes for myself. So this has been really helpful, just like kind of going through. And to be fair, Andrzej Sapkowski does a really great job summarizing what happened in the last book. So that's what it was just doing, was summarizing what happened in the last book that we read. So I was taking some notes and stuff like that. But I listened to like just a couple pages of it, only 5 pages. And then I was like, okay, let me take some notes. And I've also been meaning to use this section in my bullet journal. I have a whole section that I made for like notes. And I've been wanting to do more dedicated spreads to the book series that I've been reading and just like individual books in general that I love. So that's what I was doing. But how was your final sprint? Did you end up reading a good amount of pages? What did you get up to? Did we watch TikToks again? Okay, so we all got a little distracted. I got distracted with house chores, but I'm listening to the arc now and settled in for the afternoon. I love doing chores while listening to audiobooks. It makes them so much more, I don't know, like fun and productive, I guess, for me. So I love that you got distracted by house chores, but you're finding an excuse to listen to your audiobook. That's amazing. I've been wanting to pick up The Witcher. I'll have to check out the audios. I really recommend the audiobooks. I think that the first couple books in the Witcher series, meaning like The Last Wish, is like a 0.5 book, and it's all essentially like short stories of Geralt the Witcher fighting monsters, which is really fun. So that one, even though you're kind of jumping around in the world and you're jumping around a little bit with the timeline, I think that one's the most approachable book to begin with. Once you get into the main books of like the actual story of The Witcher, so books 1 through 3, I'm trying to remember what the first one, Sword of Destiny, Blood of Elves, Time of Contempt, and then Baptism of Fire. These ones are a bit more dense with a lot of characters. And so I found that the audiobooks have been critical to my, not only my enjoyment, but like my understanding of the series and what's going on. So I highly recommend the audiobooks. I have been blessed by the reading gods that all of these audiobooks are on my Libby, so I can get them through my library and I don't have to pay for them. I have seen that some of the audiobooks are available on YouTube, and those are free, but I don't know if those are like pirated audiobooks, if you know what I mean. So I'd rather do it through Libby, which is more beneficial towards the author type thing. But I think because the Witcher books have been out for so long, there are a lot of different sources to get the audiobooks for them. And of course, if you have Audible or probably Scribd, I'm sure that they have the audiobooks. I just refuse to pay for subscription services for audiobooks because I'm someone who's only ever going to listen to an audiobook one time probably. And I just like to, rent them via my library instead of paying, like whatever it is for an audiobook. Anyways, that's a really long spiel, so I'm sorry about that. But I do recommend the Witcher books. I think that they're great, especially if you like fantasy. Hello. I did a bit of editing, a bit of cleaning, a bit of answering comments during that sprint. No reading, but pretty productive. Okay. I'm glad we all had a very productive sprint during that last sprint, even though it wasn't super reading oriented. We can still do some productivity sprints, which is amazing. Yeah, Libby is great. I love Libby. But with that said, my friends, I'm going to let you go. I hope that you enjoy the rest of your day, and thank you so, so much for joining. I need to edit my description box because I'm going to add Hannah's channel down there, so that if you do want to follow Hannah from Hannah Blackwell, she was on with us earlier, that will be very accessible. Yeah, Hoopla as well. They've been out for so long. Like the Witcher books have been published for quite some time that I think that they're fairly accessible through the audiobooks. But I'm going to hop off now. Like I said, I hope you have a great rest of your day. And thank you